Hello Joy friends, welcome to this special tutorial. Today we're going to be making a beanie using the Co-Mingle stitch that was created by my good friends Jeannie from Butterfly Dreams Crochet and More, and Sanita with Sanita Makes Crochet Items. And I've already done a tutorial creating a beanie with the Co-Mingle stitch. It was made from the brim to the crown, and this is the hat that we made in that tutorial. Today we're going to make another beanie using the Co-Mingle stitch, but we're going to work it from the crown to the brim, and the brim will be different, but this Co-Mingle stitch that you see in the middle will be the same. All right, what are you going to need today? You're going to need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, a stitch marker. We're going to be using a 5mm hook, and you're going to want some kind of row counter to keep up with what round you're on. And then the yarn that I'm using today is Caron 1 pound, and it is in the colorway Lilac. It is a medium 4-weight yarn, and if you're ready, gather up all the items that you need. I'm going to clear off the craft table and we will begin. To get started, we're going to start with a magic ring. You can chain 3 and then work in that 3rd chain from the hook, but for this tutorial we're going to make a magic ring. I simply just wrap the yarn around my fingers, join it at the top to complete making a circle with it. Then I'm going to take my hook and go down through the front center of that circle, pull up my working yarn, and then I am going to chain 1 to secure the yarn onto that circle. Okay, I'm going to chain 3. This chain 3, 1, 2, 3 is going to count as my first double crochet. We're now going to put 11 double crochets into this circle so that with this chain 3 we will have a total of 12. So to do a double crochet, I just yarn over the hook, insert it into the circle, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, and I complete my double crochet by yarning over, pulling through the first 2, yarning over, and pulling through the remaining 2. And that's a double crochet. We're going to do that 10 more times. Yarn over, insert into the circle, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2. That now gives me a total of 3. We need a total of 12, so let's just make the rest of our double crochets. And this is 4. And 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, nine, and 10, and 11, and our final one makes 12. So we now have a total of 12 double crochets in our magic ring, including the chain 3 that we did. Now we just simply want to take this little loose tail right here, and we're going to pull on it to cinch and close our circle up. And we're going to pull on it really tight because we want that circle to close as much as it can. So I'm going to put my hook down a minute, pull my working yarn out some so I don't pull out any stitches, and I'm going to give that tail a really good tug so that my center is completely closed up. I don't want any holes in the center of my my beanie when I'm done. All right, once we've done that, we are going to come to the top of this chain 3, and we're going to insert our hook right into the top of that chain 3, and we're going to do a slip stitch. And to do that, we just yarn over, pull that loop through, and then pull it through the loop that was on the hook. And that completes round 1 of our beanie. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're now going to work 2 double crochets in each stitch around. So we have 12 double crochets. So when we're done, we're going to have a total of 24 double crochets. So we just yarn over, go right back into that same stitch that we did our slip stitch and our chain 1 in. And we're going to work 2 double crochets right into that same stitch. And then we're going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And we're going to keep working double crochets, 2 of them, in each stitch around, so that we have a total of 24 double crochets at the end of round 2. So go ahead and continue making 2 double crochets in each stitch around, and I will meet back up with you after you have completed working it all the way around and coming back to the beginning, and I'll show you how to finish the round. All right, we're back at the end of round 2. We should have 24 double crochets, and we are just going to slip stitch into the top of our first double crochet. Chain 1, and then in that same stitch that we slip stitch and chain 1, we are going to work a double crochet. Now you don't have to, but you can use a stitch marker at this point, but the way these double crochets are working out, you should be able to find your way back to the beginning. In the second stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets. And then in the next stitch, we're going to complete the rest of this round with this repeat pattern of working 1 double crochet, and then in the next stitch, 2 double crochets. So we're going to work 1 double crochet, and then in the next stitch, we're going to do an increase by working 2. So in the next one, we work 1, and in the next one, we work 2. And we're going to complete that repeat pattern of 1, 2 all the way around. And when we finish, we will now have 36 double crochets at the end of round 3. So go ahead and continue this pattern of 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochet in the next, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. You'll have 36 double crochets, and I'll meet right back up here with you, and we'll finish this round together. All right, we're at the end of round 3. You should have 36 double crochets. And to complete this round, we're going to come right into the top of that first double crochet that we made, and we're going to close it with a slip stitch. And we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work right back into that same stitch, and we're going to work a double crochet. We're going to work a double crochet 1 in the next stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets. So we'll work 1, 1, 2. So we'll work 1 double crochet in 2 stitches, and then we'll do an increase of working 2 double crochets in the next. So 1 double crochet in this stitch, 1 double crochet in this stitch, and 2 double crochets to include an increase in this stitch. And we're going to repeat this pattern of 1, 1, 2 all the way around. When you get to the end of round 4, you will have a total of 48 double crochets. So continue working all the way around the round, working 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and I will meet back up with you at the end of round 4. We are at the end of round 4. Again, you should have 48 double crochets, and we're going to come to the top of this first double crochet, slip stitch, chain 1, and we're going to go right back into that same stitch and work a double crochet. And we're going to work a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So this is our first one. We're going to go into the next one and work a double crochet. That is our second one. We're going to go into the next stitch and work a double crochet, and that is our third one. Now we're going to do an increase in the next stitch, so we're going to work 2 double crochets. And our repeat pattern for this row is going to be 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then 2 in the next stitch. All right, so now we're going to work 1 single crochet in the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the next stitch, we're going to do an increase by working 2 double crochets. And we're going to continue this pattern all the way around, working 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then in the next stitch, we'll do an increase by working 2 double crochets. So after you complete this round of working 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the 4th stitch, when you get all the way around to the end of round 5, you will have a total of 60 double crochets. So continue working around, working 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, an increase of 2 double crochets in the next, and when you get all the way back to the beginning, I will meet up with you and we will have a total of 60 double crochets. All right, we have completed round 5. You should have a total of 60 double crochets around the crown of your beanie. We're going to finish this round just like we have all the remaining rounds. We're going to come into the top of this first double crochet, work a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 1. Now, before you continue, you may want to measure the circumference of your head and then measure the circumference of your crown. And you want to make sure that your crown is matching the circumference of your head. So if you need to add another row of increases, then go ahead and do that. Otherwise, go ahead and move forward with me into the next round. Now for round 6, we are going to be working half double crochets. Now we have 60 stitches right now, 60 double crochets, and we need a total of 62 to be able to start our co-mingle stitch. So we're going to have to increase twice in this round. So we're going to start in this very first stitch. So in this first stitch where you did the slip stitch and a chain 1, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. To work a half double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And you want to have 2 of those in that first stitch. Now, we want our hat to be symmetrical, so we're going to increase again at the halfway mark on the complete other side of our beanie. So to make sure that we go into the right space, we're going to count over 30 since we had 60 double crochets from the last round. So this counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. All right. So right here in 30, I'm going to put a stitch marker. So I know when I get to that stitch, I want to put 2 half double crochets, and you can see it's directly across from one another. So we're going to work in all the stitches around to that stitch marker, 1 half double crochet in each stitch. And after working 1 half double crochet in each stitch around and then increasing twice, that will give us a total of 62 half double crochets at the end of round 6. So right now we're just working a half double crochet in each stitch around to the stitch marker. And then when we get to the stitch marker, we're going to work 2 half double crochets in that stitch. We're almost to our stitch marker. All right. We've reached our stitch marker. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker, and in this next stitch I'm going to work 2 half double crochets. Okay, and now we're just going to continue working a half double crochet in each stitch around until we get back to the beginning. So go ahead and finish working a half double crochet in the remaining stitches. I'll meet back up with you when you get back to the beginning. Now, as you can see, your hat is starting to curve in a little bit. That is fine. We want it to do that, okay? Because after this round, we're going to start with the co-mingle stitch and we're going to start creating the body of our beanie. All right, I'll meet back up with you when you get to the end of round 6. And again, you'll have 62 half double crochets. We've made it to the end of round 6, and you should have a total of 62 half double crochets. And we're going to come right into the top of this first half double crochet, and we are going to slip stitch to join the round, and we're going to chain 1. Now as we begin round 7, we are going to begin our co-mingle stitch. All right, to do the co-mingle stitch, it is a repeat over 5 stitches. The first stitch, we're going to work a single crochet stitch right into this first stitch. That's the one that we slip stitched in, and chain 1. And we're going to mark it with a stitch marker. Okay. In the next stitch, we're going to work a purl stitch. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see me work this stitch. Now, normally when we yarn over our hook, we come up the back towards the front. But for a purl stitch, you're going to bring your yarn over your hook from the front of your hook to the back of your hook, okay? And then you're going to insert your hook into that next stitch. And as you do that, you notice that the yarn that you'd wrapped over your hook has moved to the side. You want to turn your hook so that you can grab that yarn and pull it through the stitch. And when you do that, you notice that the yarn that you originally wrapped over your hook has fallen down to the front of the loop that is now on your hook. That's what you want it to do. That creates that purl stitch right there. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through 2. Now I'll show you how to do that again in just a minute. All right. In the next stitch, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Make sure you pull it up so it's the same height as the loop that's on your hook. We're going to do that 2 more times in each of the next stitches. So working over the next 2 stitches, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, and pull up another loop. We're going to do that 1 more time into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull up another loop. You now have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. Okay? And that's what your stitch is going to look like. It's a really pretty textured stitch. And then to finish off the co-mingle stitch, you're going to chain 2. And you have just completed 1 co-mingle stitch. All right, let's do it together again. Right into the very next stitch, we're going to work a single crochet. And now we're going to purl stitch again. So remember, we're going to come across the front of our hook and wrap it to the back. We're going to insert into that next stitch. And when we do, our yarn is going to fall off that hook. We're going to turn our hook so we can grab it and pull it through the stitch. And we want it to fall over the front of that loop, just like that. 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through both. We've completed our purl stitch. Now in the next 3 stitches, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So insert your hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Next stitch, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Next stitch, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4. And then chain 2. It's real important that you remember to chain 2. But starting with the next round, if you don't chain 2, you'll soon learn that you didn't chain 2 because the pattern won't look right. All right, let's work another co-mingle stitch together. We're going to insert our hook into the next stitch and create a single crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to work a purl again. Remember, wrap your yarn from the front of the hook to the back. Insert into that next stitch. The yarn falls off the hook. Twist your hook to grab that yarn and pull it through the stitch. It's going to fall across the front of your loop. Pardon me. You'll have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through both. And you've completed your purl stitch. In the next 3, we're going to insert, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4. Chain 2. You've now completed a combination of 3 co-mingle stitches. And you can already begin to see the pretty texture that that stitch is creating. All right, let's work another one together. In the next stitch, we're going to single crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to purl, going from front to back with our yarn, insert in, pull that loop through, and the yarn over, excuse me, from the hook will fall across that loop. 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through the 2 loops. You created your purl stitch. Next 3 stitches, we insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4, and end it with a chain 2. And you can definitely see that your beanie hat is starting to curve in, and you want it to do that. All right, let's work the co-mingle stitch one more time together, and then I'm going to leave you to finish the rest of round 7 on your own. All right, so in the next stitch, we work a single crochet, and then we work a purl stitch, wrapping our yarn from the front of the hook to the back. Insert, grab that fallen yarn, pull it through. We're pulling it behind, we're pulling our loop, our yarn over behind our original yarn over on the hook so that it falls across that loop. And then we yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on the hook. In the next 3 stitches, we insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 2. And this completes the co-mingle stitch. So you're going to continue doing that all the way around. When you get back to the beginning, I will meet up with you and I will show you how to finish off round 7, and I will also show you how to begin and do round 8. All right, we're at the end of round 7, and if you'll notice, after you did your last co-mingle stitch and chain 2, you have 2 stitches remaining, and you want to have those 2 stitches remaining because at the end of every round in those final 2 stitches, we will always end with a single crochet and a purl. So the last stitch of each round will be a purl stitch. The first stitch of each round will be a single crochet. All right, let's look at how we finish this round. I'll zoom in here a little bit. All right. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and we're going to skip over the slip stitch. Make sure you skip over that slip stitch and come right into the top of the single crochet, slip stitch into it, and chain 1. All right, then in that same stitch, you're going to make a single crochet. And I'm going to put my stitch marker back so I can always make sure I'm going into that single crochet and not into the slip stitch that we create. Okay? All right, in my next one, I'm going to purl. And now we come to the 3 stitches where we yarn over and pull up a loop. Now going forward, round 8 through 18, you will repeat round 8 all the way to round 18. Now to yarn over and pull up your 3 loops, you're going to go into this next space right here and pull up a loop. Then you're going to go into this little space here that I call the eye of the 3 loops that we crocheted together to pull up your second loop. And then you're going to go into that chain 2 space to pull up your 3rd loop. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 and chain 2. And you've now completed the first co-mingle stitch of round 8. So let's work together again. In the single crochet, we're going to work a single crochet. In the purl stitch, we're going to work a purl stitch. And then we're going to draw up our 3 loops in this next space, in the eye of our 3 loops together, and then in the chain 2 space. That gives us our 4 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 2. All right, let's do another one. We're going to work a single crochet right into the top of this single crochet. We're going to work a purl stitch in the top of the purl stitch. And we're going to draw up 3 loops. We're going to insert into this next space, yarn over and pull up a loop. Go into the eye of the 3 stitches together, yarn over, pull up a loop. Go into the chain 2 space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on the hook and chain 2. All right, let's do another one together. We're going to work a single crochet in the next single crochet, a purl stitch in the purl stitch, and we're going to draw up 3 loops. We're going to insert into this next space, yarn over, draw up a loop. We're going to insert our hook into the eye of the 3 loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, and in the chain 2 space, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 2. And that is our co-mingle stitch. And you can see what a beautiful stitch that is. All right, let's work one more together. We're going to work a single crochet in this next single crochet. We're going to work a purl stitch in the next purl stitch. And I'm a tight crocheter, so I am trying to crochet a little bit loose so my beanie will have some play and give to it. Because if I crochet too tight, it might make my beanie too tight. All right, now we got to do our 3 loops. We're going to insert our hook into this next space, yarn over, draw up a loop. Going to go into the eye of the 3 loops, yarn over, pull up a loop. And in the chain 2 space, yarn over, pull up a loop. 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 2. Go ahead and work that all the way around to the last 2 stitches, and I will join you at the end of round 8 to finish those last 2 stitches with you. All right, we're at the end of round 8. We have our 2 stitches remaining, and as I shared before, each round is going to end with a single crochet and a purl stitch. So in that next stitch, we'll work a single crochet, and in the last stitch, we will work a purl stitch. And that completes round 8. Round 9, we're going to do just what we did on round 8. We're just going to completely repeat it. Make sure you skip over the slip stitch here and go right into the top of the single crochet with a slip stitch, chain 1, and work a single crochet. It's real important that you make sure you are skipping over that slip stitch at the beginning. Otherwise, you're going to get to the end and you're going to have an extra stitch. And then we're going to work the purl. And we're just going to complete the co-mingle stitch, pulling up our 3 loops. Yarning over and pulling them all together and ending with a chain 2. And we're going to complete round 8 all the way to round 18. Now we're starting round 9. So for round 9 through 18, you're just going to repeat round 8. So go ahead and work your 18 rounds of the co-mingle stitch. You should have 62 stitches total for each of these rounds. I will meet up with you at the end of round 18 and we'll complete our beanie together. All right, we finished round 18 and we are back to the beginning of the round. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker. And we are just going to slip stitch in the top of that single crochet and we're going to chain 1. All right, for round 19, we're going to go right back into that same stitch with a half double crochet. And then we're going to work a half double crochet in each stitch around. And the stitches will be just like they were with the Co-Mingle stitch. We did a half double crochet in the single, in the purl. We're doing a half double crochet in that next space. We'll do a half double crochet in the eye of the 3 loops. Half double crochet in the chain 2 space. Let me get some more yarn here. And then we're just going to keep going around. Half double crochet in the single crochet, half double crochet in the purl stitch, half double crochet in that space, half double crochet in the eye of the 3 loops, half double crochet in the chain 2, and all the way around till we get back to the beginning, which I did not put my stitch marker in, but you can see the difference in the row height, but just for purposes, I am going to put that stitch marker in the top of that first half double crochet. All right, so go ahead and finish working a half double crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet back up with you at the end of round 19, and you should have 62 half double crochets at the end of this round. Back, we're at the end of round 19, and we have worked our half double crochets all the way around. Going to remove that stitch marker, and in the top of that first half double crochet, we're going to slip stitch. And at this point, we have 3 rounds left to go. You can leave your hat like this if you want. This is the top. But I am going to flip my hat inside out so that this is now the top of my hat, and that Co-Mingle stitch, you can see that definitive texture. On this side, it's kind of flat, but on this side, you can see the texture. That also makes it easy for you to count the rows, and you can see we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rows of that Co-Mingle stitch. But I just love the way this works out when you turn it from the inside out. And now I'm going to come back to where we left off. Okay. And I'm going to start round 20. We have slip stitch, so now I'm going to chain 1 and work a half double crochet right back into that stitch. I'm going to put my stitch marker in there. You probably don't need the stitch markers at this point now that we're finished with the Co-Mingle stitch, but just for principle. And now for rows 20 and 21, we're going to work half double crochets in each of these half double crochets around. And again, when you get to the end of row 20 and 21, you should have a total of 62 half double crochets. So go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in each stitch around for the next 2 rounds. And I will meet back up with you at the end of round 21. All right, so we finished round 21 with the half double crochets. And now to finish the last round of this beanie, we are going to slip stitch into the top of that first half double crochet, chain 1 and work a single crochet right back into that first stitch. I am going to put my stitch marker back on because you can see that it's hard to tell that single crochet up against that half double. And now for this final round of round 22, we are simply just going to work single crochets in each half double crochet around, and this will complete our Co-Mingle beanie from the crown down. So go ahead and finish this row of single crochets, and I will meet you when you get to the end of round 22. You should have 62 single crochets at the end of this round. All right, we're at the end of round 22, our final round. Going to remove this stitch marker for the last time, and I'm just going to slip stitch in the top of this single crochet, and then I'm going to chain 2. And I will fasten off and just leave enough of a tail to weave in and pull that, tighten that down, and then take my darning needle and I'm going to weave my ends in here. And I always like to bring this from the back to the front. That way it pulls any knots that are formed from that chain 2 to fasten off. It pulls it to the back, to the inside of the hat or the project. And then I'm going to come back through from the front side to the back side. And then I'm going to weave in on the back side. And I do this many ways. You can either go underneath some of these loops here, but I have found that if I come down through it like this, it hides it so much better. Just trying to wiggle that in there. Like that. Skip over the last one I came through and then go right back up. And that's all it takes. And that is nice and secured. I don't have to worry about it coming out. I've got the one that was at the top of the hat. I'll pull it tight to make sure my top is closed in. All right, got my needle, my darning needle threaded, and then I just go right up underneath this little circular part of the stitches. Pull that through. I'm going to skip over the top of this one that I came through the last and go back. And then I'm just going to do it one more time. All right. And clip that off. Turn my hat back out. And here is the final result of the Co-Mingle hat. Let me zoom out so you can see that. And that is our hat. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, make your own joyful creations, and remember, you are always loved.